have no doubt that if I laugh, they will slam me into a wall, or worse. That makes me want to giggle harder. I'm that person, the person who giggles at inappropriate times. We are surrounded by a crush of large alien bodies, and they smell somehow damp and musty. Then my awful urge to laugh flees as something lingers in my mind. A word. Alien. Is it possible? Aliens? I hesitate as my mind rebels, and one of the men gives me a hard, impatient shove. I stumble, lose my balance, a side effect of the drugs they shot into me, I would bet, and fall against one of the other abductors. He roars something and backhands me, his hand cold and rough against my cheekbone. I don't cry out. I catch myself and straighten my spine. Refusing to touch my throbbing cheek, I send him what I know is a look of utter contempt. I can't help it. Even in my terror, I am furious. Seeds of anger sprout quickly into rage, and hatred begins to grow in the fertile soil of fear. I've always had a bad temper, and one sure way to get it going is to show me something cruel. Whatever is happening, I will survive it, and one day I will find a way to kill every little piggy I come across. The rage feels so much better than the terror. The pig who'd struck me narrows his eyes and returns my stare. He murmurs something, and a slow, cruel smile spreads across his face. I drop my gaze. I hope he'll forget about me and my rebelliousness. Pissing them off is no way to survive. Pissing them off is not smart, and in order to survive, I will have to be smart. He nudges another guard as we walk on and says something that makes the other man laugh. It is a low, suggestive laugh, and it chills me to the bone. They divide us up and throw us into cells, half of us in one cell and half in another. The cells are directly across the cold hallway from each other, and the lights, white and stark, never dim to give us a little privacy or a moment to hide in the shadows. There are 3 metal toilet bowls lining the far wall, and that's it. No cots, sinks, windows, or doors. Only bars that slide quickly and quietly shut once we are inside. But at last we can talk amongst ourselves, and the very second the guard's heavy footsteps fade, we begin to chatter like frenzied magpies. Everyone had experienced the same thing. The monstrous men had grabbed them, shoved a needle into their hips or arms, and they'd awakened on the metal floor just like me. "Is it a ship?" one girl asks. "Are they—" "Aliens," I speak up at last. "Like the movies, like the books." A tall blonde gives me a wide, disbelieving, slightly mocking smile. "You think we've been abducted by aliens?" I nod. "That's exactly what I think." "Well, you're wrong. We've been abducted by assholes who will sell us as sex slaves. It happens all the fucking time. I mean, look around. All of us are young and most of us are hot, and everyone looks healthy." "Some of our abductions will have been caught on camera," a petite brunette says. She gives a decisive nod and folds her arms across a thin chest. "They'll come after us. They'll figure it out and bring us home." "What about how the guards look?" I point out. "They're not human." "Masks," the blonde says briskly. I don't bother replying. Obviously the guards hadn't been wearing masks, but if the women need to tell themselves the guards are human or that we'll be rescued, I'm not going to argue. We'll all find out the truth soon enough. "I'm Briony," I say instead. "I was taken as I walked home from work. The street wasn't empty, but I didn't have a chance to scream. It happened so quickly." I rub the sore spot on my hip. "They've done this before." "I'm Barbara," the blonde says. "I was taken from my backyard. Asshole must have climbed right over my fence because one second I was basking in the sun and the next I looked up and he was there. I opened my mouth to scream and—" She is one of the naked ones. She points to the mark high on her arm. "He stabbed me with a needle and I woke up here." "I'm Diana," the optimistic brunette pipes up next. "I was taken when I sneaked out at work to grab a cigarette. I'd been trying to quit." She gives a watery laugh. "If I had more willpower, I wouldn't be here right now." The others give their names and stories, and in the cell across the hall I hear the other group of prisoners doing the same. One of the women in my group huddles in the corner crying, her hands over her head, and honestly I'm surprised she's the only one. "What is this place?" a plump redhead asks. "A warehouse?" "A ship," I say. I thought she'd said her name was Christine. "Didn't you feel it moving earlier?" Barbara smirks. "A spaceship, Briony?" "Even if they are aliens," Christine says, "what do they want with us?" A few minutes later someone else asks the question again. Where are we? What is this place? Who are they? Because even though we already discussed it, they don't want to believe that we're on a ship with